It's been a long time since last Sunday. I want to acknowledge you for your practice. I want to acknowledge you for knowing where to be this morning. I want to acknowledge you for coming together as a body of light. All of you. That includes our virtual community, which is very much a part of this community. We're not going to play a game of cat and mouse in our spiritual community each week, catching up with the news and reacting and responding. We're not going to play into our fears in unity, though we're here to presence them. We're here to have a safe space to speak them, to be with them. We are unity. We stand for unity, yeah? And we're here to embody that. So what we are going to do is double down on our practice. What we are going to do is move into the realm consistently and powerfully together each week, both when we're here for this 1 hour and for every hour that follows after that. Double down into our practice and our applications of the truth principles that we know to be universal and absolute, that we know work, that have worked in our lives for our own healing, whether it be emotional, whether it be mental, whether it be physical. But we're here to practice it as a body together, a community. We are here to be a safe sanctuary. For the expression of God. For God's universal, source's universal expression of love that individuates as what we see around us. The spiritual condition, the human condition, with our community. I'm committed to standing with us as a community, standing with you, not to put our heads in the sand or in the clouds, not to get caught in fear or feel powerless, but to practice the principles and recognize where true power comes from, recognize who and what we truly are, and to put our heads, our hands, our minds, our beings, our everything into our source, and to come from that place in everything we do. We do create and we will create a sanctuary of peace. We do create and we will continue to create a place for connection and a place where love is alive. Amen? In unity, we stand for co-creating a world that works for all. In unity, we stand for the knowing that you don't need an intermediary between you and God to tell you what source and what God is, that it is born within your heart. Born within your heart. That in fact, within each one of us, we have a guidance system, we have a direction system, and it is stronger than anything that humanity could ideate. Through education, through family systems, through life experience, through anything, through government, through teaching, through parenting, through anything. There is a guidance system within each one of us that is stronger than all of that. And all it is doing in every moment is saying, come home. It heals the unhealable. It speaks with no No respect for ego and fear and power and all of those things that lead us into separation. It speaks through that, and it inspires, and it brings us into pure love, in action, in demonstration. Even when our minds, even when our addictions, even when our systems, right? Even when all of this human stuff may fail us. May seem not powerful enough, may seem not enough. When all of that, and you look around and you go, where, help, what, this system, this internal guidance system, this direction, this pure and perfect connection with Source that is born into all living things is absolute, unconditional. In unity, in old school unity, we call it omnipresence, everywhere present. Omniscient, every knowing, all knowingness itself. Omnipotent, all power itself. Not separate, not outside, as in like arm, fist of power over here, and ooh, I'm everywhere present, like a cage. No. It is spiritual power itself. It is wisdom itself. It is life itself. It is love itself. You have seen it. I have seen it in my life. We have seen it demonstrate and heal the unhealable. We also know we're born for these times, don't we? I mean, really, 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 really. If we get out of everything that we think about what life is and what we're here for, like really authentically break it down. Are we here to be going shopping, filling shopping carts, feeding ourselves, putting on clothes, right? Are we here to be building churches and going to work and typing on computers and staring at devices? Like really, we are souls on a path of awakening. We are spiritual beings in a human condition, having a human experience, but really, are we here to dry our hair in the morning? Like really, are we here to brush our teeth? Are we here to be human? We all know right here that we are here for the awakening. That we are here for love. Whatever that looks like for us, we know we're here for that. We know we're here for healing. And even when we don't know why we're here, we can go to that place where we don't need to know. Where we just present moment by present moment, get each moment and move into it, connected to our source. Aware of the source of our being. Unity stands for love. Unity stands for peace in our lifetime. Unity stands for spiritual practice. We also know that there's no playbook. There's no playbook. In unity, we don't delude ourselves to think that someone can tell us the answers. That someone can figure it out. And that we should all look to that person to say, okay, you do it. In unity, we know and we teach that it is not done to us. God cannot do more to you than God can do through you. Your source cannot do more to you than your source can do through you. My source cannot do more with my life and my consciousness, cannot do more to the collective than it can do through the collective. It's the good news and the bad news. The good news is this is the evolution of consciousness. It's been happening since the beginning of humanity. The good news is we're here to be learning about that consciousness and learning about who and what we are. God can do no more to me than through me. That's been said in so many unity and new thought centers and probably anywhere. I must be involved. My awakening is essential. No one's coming to get humanity to save it. No one's coming to save religion and redirect it into love. And no one's coming to save us from ourselves. Have you felt that in your own life a little bit? Like, right? Like, come on, save me from myself. Does anyone want to do that? Like, come on. Like, who wouldn't like welcome some aliens right now? Like, come on. You got a gorgeous planet ready? We'll go. Like, you know those movies where it's like there's a waterfall? It's like, I think I'll go. Just like the microcosm, so is the macrocosm. No one is coming to save us from ourselves. Yet we are already saved. So we're here to double down on the principles. We're here to stay with the practice. We're here to ground and center in love and to be fully human. We're here to put everything against the litmus test of our principles and our practice. So no, I will not continue to divide and divide and divide and to separate and to hate. I will not breathe into that. I will pray in the patience and the power to stay connected, to stay in the conversation, to allow my human head when it needs to go into the sand for a moment, but to come out with my spiritual power. This is the practice. This is today. This has been every day that we ever have a spiritual conversation. I'm here to birth love. I'm here to birth respect. I'm here to birth awareness. I'm here to have healthy boundaries. I'm here for fierce love. I'm here for the way. The master teacher, Jesus the Christ, the one who gave us teachings and paved a path of awakening, who was a major rebel of his time, who spoke truth to power, who had not a living asset, yet walked the walk with strength, walked the walk with presence, and walked the walk with spirit. That Christed presence, that awakened presence, that anointed presence that the master teacher taught, he taught that it is not confined in any way to any particular group of humanity, any particular religion. It is the way. End of story. It is the I am nature and the awakening of the I am nature. And that can be done through myriad ways, in myriad spaces, throughout all of history and all of time, throughout all of creation. The master teacher taught that this practice, that the path, the way, is beyond family ties and upbringing. It's beyond towns and borders and boundaries. It's beyond religion. It's beyond government. It's beyond all of it. Because it's the birthing into a new mindset. It's the birth of a new mindset. So what I ask us in our practice to do is check in with what we get. For me, in times in my life and times in looking at the collective, when I go, I don't know where help is coming from. I want something to come save me from this thought or this fear or this whatever it is. What do? You check in. So I know and trust that what we're going to be doing is our practice connecting with the best of our ability to our source and sharing the wisdom that we get. For a lot of people, that looks like getting into creativity. For a lot of people, that looks like coming together in community. It looks like circulating our gifts and finding out what we are a part of and being clear that we are a part of sourcing what we want more of. Hard stop. I am here to source spiritual nourishment when I see it shared. I am here to source the light. This is our practice. We were made for these times. The path sees it no other way. So our personal suffering, we're knowing through experience, our personal suffering and love leads us to our individual awakening. So does our collective suffering and love lead us to our collective awakening. This is how all enlightened teachers, all awakened beings got it, right? They got it with the yin-yang, the dance of love and suffering, the human condition and the limitation and source. Sometimes I think in our wishful thinking, we wish it could be some other way, you know? We wish it could be magic. And instead, it's miracle, and a miracle is the orderly outworking of the law, spiritual law. It has to come through us. What happens doesn't just happen to us. It comes from us. Everything before we see it is a thought. Everything before we see it is a belief. Everything before we see it is a thought and a belief. That's where the work is. So what are our visions? What are our beliefs that need healing? What are the illusions and what are the awakenings that need to come through us? I shared from Viktor Frankl, the Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist and creator of freedom and emancipation of the mind in the times when it was nearly impossible, right? To believe that that was possible. And he said, when you are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to save and challenge and change and love and transform and awaken ourselves. So how do we do that? What are the practical tools? Because unity is about practical tools for spirituality, practical tools for creating a world that works for all. It's about practical tools. So what I get is that we ground in our practice. Whatever your practice is, whatever my practice is, that we know that grounds us, we ground in it. And I'm not talking about our addiction, and I'm not talking about our mental vacations, and I'm not talking about sticking our heads in the sand, right? I'm talking about demonstrating our power and our commitment to ground. It's just amazing to me, and it's not, but it's amazing to me how everything lines up and says the same thing, right? Like all we have to do is listen, literally listen so deeply, eavesdrop on the mind of God, eavesdrop on source. Like all we do is need to quiet that stuff and listen. And the same patterns press out everywhere. The same awakening happens everywhere. The same healing happens everywhere. Things line up. There are no, it's like, the pattern and the template is there. The pattern and the template for awakening is there. All we do is walk it. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. So ground. The tools are to ground, to do what you do to explore what we need to explore, to continue grounding. That doesn't mean that we're not going to be human. That doesn't mean that we're not going to do all of those things to interfere with the radio frequencies of God. We're going to. And so we do them, we be aware, and then we come back right to the present moment, to the practice. Then get and receive guidance. Get and receive guidance. And the other half of getting, the principle and the practice, is there's no possibility of getting without giving. You get without giving and you explode. We get without giving and we explode. We get without giving and we atrophy. We get without giving and we hoard, and then we become a slave to our hoarding. So the other natural and automatic side of getting is giving. So we give, and that's where our eyes focus. We only focus on getting from source, period, end of story. We only focus on getting. When we have that get energy, it goes to source. There are no gods before me. There are no gods above me. The source of life is the source. That is the source. David Owen Ritz has principles in this week's study for what we're doing, these 7 truths of abundance. Truth number 1, God is the one and only source of your good. God is the one and only source of my good. Let's say this together, and if you need another word for God, if it's source, if it's love, if it's energy, put it in there. Will you know this with me? And I'm telling you, if you're in your home, you probably are more comfortable saying it even louder. Type it, say it, speak it. If you missed last Sunday, we watched a video on neuroscience and the actual brain science between bringing a thought and a belief into fruition in our lives. And it was get it, see it, write it, say it, rehearse it. Truth number 1, God is the one and only source of our good. Together, God is the one and only source of our good. Truth number 2, abundance is a here and now reality. Together, abundance is a here and now reality. Truth number 3, abundance is inexhaustible. Together, abundance is inexhaustible. Did anyone have a belief that countered that? Did anyone have a belief that countered that? If it is, be in the human condition. Let it be there. What do you mean abundance is inexhaustible? That's not what I'm seeing outside. That's not what I'm getting. Oh, I went to the wrong place to get. Don't go to humanity. I don't want to get all preacher, fire, and brimstone, but don't go to humanity to get. That's not where the divine blueprint is. We go to God, the God of the ethers, the God that created a planet and solar system, that made music happen through these fingers, that made lyrics come through that mind, that made art come through that hand, that made love and healing come through that heart, that made childbirth, that made the unspeakable. That's where we go to get. Not the human condition and looking there and saying there's not abundance. We go to the sun shines for everyone and it shines freely. We go to the fact that I can plant a little seed and I can feed my family. We go to that water is running through our rivers, through our lakes, through our earth, and it cleans itself and comes back to us and says, have me. We go to the truth that everything that we actually need to live is freely given. Truth number 4, God is meeting your every need at every moment according to your own acceptance. God is meeting your every need at every moment according to your acceptance. Again, meeting your need at every moment according to your acceptance. David Owen Ritz teaches it's your honorable desires. Meeting your honorable desires. Not the human condition need, Not when we were talking about Martin Luther King last Sunday and the expanding power like that impulse, that human impulse to get more, to overpower, to do, to be at the top. Not that one. Not that one. Your honorable, deep, true heart's need, desire. The one that you know, that when you could have everything human around you, that the human condition could say, I need to be safe, I need to be protected, I need to manifest my vision, I need to demonstrate whatever it is, all of those things, and the universe just says to you, sweet love, you needed none of that. Everything that you needed, you already had. And everything that you need along the path, you will walk into. It will be here. It will be here as you walk. It will be here as you move. The master teacher had no belongings, no home, no power, but the light. According to your own acceptance, God can do no more to me than God can do through me. Truth number 5, everyone deserves abundance. Truth number 5, everyone deserves abundance. Let's say it again together. Everyone deserves abundance. It is a core truth and a core principle. Anything other than this is a corruption of God. This source that cleans the air, that provides water and food, that is love and provides love and connection, that operates through us, all the things that keep us separate, all the illusions and the delusions and the addictions and all the yuck, all the awful of humanity in my own life and in the collective. It was all created by the power of my ideas, my beliefs, moving into the collective and circulating. It cannot have a life other than the life we give it. It's a parasite. Anything that we consider not of the light, that we might consider darkness, is a parasite. It has no life but the life we give it. And that is constantly being created. Like it is truth that it is constantly being created. Everyone deserves abundance. It's like saying everyone deserves God. Yes. There is no possibility there is a God, a source, a love that is not the love of everyone equally. I've got truth number 6 and truth number 7, but right before that, I want to share this with you. I was in my prayer time, and if you know my life, my dad passed over a year ago, and it brings you into reflections. But I was doing some prayer time, and I found myself sitting by a little book that I had given him. You could think, oddly enough, or a divine appointment, I gave my dad a few things to start writing down for myself, for the grandkids, about 2 or 3 years before he passed, having no idea that he would pass what it feels like early, right? So this little book, if you have grandchildren or children or a child that you love, you might pick one up. But it says, letters to my grandchild, write now, read later, treasure forever. And I got him this, and I think now about his last couple years, and I think, he had to be like, Erin, for the love of God. It's like I had him writing stuff nearly every week of his life for the last couple years. And I didn't, I didn't consciously know, but July of 2020, August of 2020, September of 2020, he had to write a letter to me and Georgia, my daughter, literally every week. And it's for the whole family. And I get it now. Do you get that? I get it now. Abundance is for everyone. September 6, 2020. Thank you, Dad. Dear Georgia, the theme for this one, because they all have themes. He's such a professor. It's typed out. It's not in the little thing where you handwrite it. It's typed out. Except for his signature. That's in writing. Dear Georgia, the theme for this one is advice that I have been given. When I think about giving or receiving advice, it looks like do this or don't do that. I don't think I have been directly given that kind of advice very much. Although I do brush my teeth every morning and things like that. I will try to respond to the idea behind the theme by telling you about something that I have learned about from others, from reading and from experiences. I think that an important principle is to treat others with respect. This seems to be trivial, but in a sense, it is very deep. When confronted with a difficult situation, I have often found it to be a good way to resolve it. You can think about it religiously. God has created us all equal. It is a wonderful gift for which we should be very grateful. We are special. On the other hand, all have been given the same kind of gift. It is not true that some of us are better than others. Sometimes it can be difficult to exercise this principle. People do not always treat us very well, and we can become angry at the things some others do. I think the always respect others advice helps us to see the world in a healthy way. Love, Grandpa. I took a breath into that, went to headquarters, checked it, and then checked my mind, my actions in my personal life, my world, and my collective with that. And then I said, align me with that practice. Truth number 6, your vision is your inner awareness of your naturally abundant self. Your vision is your inner awareness of your naturally abundant self. That means our vision must match that. Truth number 7, your inner guidance will lead you toward the fulfillment of your vision. So let's go back to truth number 6. Together, we're going to say our vision is our inner awareness of our naturally abundant self. Together, our vision is our inner awareness of our naturally abundant self. Truth number 7, our inner guidance will lead us toward the fulfillment of our vision. Together, our inner guidance will lead us toward the fulfillment of our vision. Namaste.